Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Death Wish. Going into this film, I wasn't all that excited. The trailers didn't look all that good to me, and I was expecting, at best, a B-level, dad-style action film. But I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I had a lot of fun with this movie. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the positives. The biggest positive to me is director Eli Roth. I think he is the reason this remake is as fun and awesome as it turns out to be. You can feel Eli Roth seeping through this film. You can feel the tension, horror, thriller type of aspects that he brings as a director. And then of course we all know it wouldn't be a proper Eli Roth film without some gore. And it is done in the best way possible. And he brings in all this gruesomeness in various ways. Sometimes for a little bit of a comedic effect, sometimes a little bit more realistic, and then other times to make the audience just wince and look away from the screen. But it's all just so good. He also brings effervescence, energy, and fun into the film. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It doesn't try to be some auteur piece that it's not, some highbrow action film that it's not going to be. It's fun, it's outrageous, and it's just a good time. And I think that all comes down to Eli Roth hitting all of the right notes with the directing. What I also loved about this film is that we had a not professional fighter. So he wasn't an army guy, wasn't, Taken style, ex-CIA, ex-FBI, ex-military, none of that. He was a brawler kind of in the streets, but really he was a doctor, a educated, rich, ritzy man. And I love that they updated the film by showing him looking up YouTube videos on how to properly load up a Glock, and showing him not knowing how to fire a gun at all. And even when he had practice, still wasn't that great with it. So I loved the aspects of realism, that it was this kind of just old guy trying to teach himself with modern technology, and that was a lot of fun. Granted, he then was able to do some crazy things for an old, not necessarily that great of shape guy, but again, it was just kind of a fun, not so serious film. So what am I expecting, right? I think the cast is all game for what they're asked to do. Bruce Willis isn't asked to stretch too far outside of his comfort zone. You can see him breaking at the seam just a little bit when he's asked to get really emotional. But he does stern-face action guy well. Vincent D'Onofrio does Vincent D'Onofrio. It was really nice to see Kimberly Elise in here, who I think is always pretty good, and she was really good in this film as well. So everybody's game, everybody fits the role that they need to fit, and the cast just works well. As for negatives in the film, the script is very clunky. The dialogue is not all that smooth. There are some very much dad jokes thrown into the film. Some big old clunkers of jokes that are landing in here. But then we get things that are introduced and seem like they should come into play, but don't. We have an altercation at the beginning of the film. We learn of his brawler style past, but none of that ever really circles back around. So it's kind of what's the point of this? I actually could have done without that entire soccer game scene at the beginning of the film, but what you can do. The same thing with this weird Vincent D'Onofrio character sub-storyline about borrowing money and being irresponsible, and there's supposed to be some sort of a payoff later in the film, but we never really learn what Vincent D'Onofrio does, or why he's so horrible with money and needs to borrow thousands, or what's going on at all. And we don't even really get signs of a strained relationship. I mean, Bruce Willis seems pretty cool, just kind of handing over the cash, and is a little bit perturbed of oh, you need money again, but there's not really a strain there. They seem pretty close, and Vincent D'Onofrio seemed pretty close with his family, so I just thought we could have completely omitted all of the brothers subplot because it didn't need to be there. Just have him be the brother that's around and a part of the family. But overall, this is a fun movie. If you are looking for just a good action film, this is the one. This is what you pick to go see this weekend. There are some really awesome inventive kills. There's some really awesome invented shot selections. There's even a pretty cool tracking shot through a hospital at the very start of this film that I wish they would have just extended a little bit longer, but it went on a good enough amount of time where you're like, okay, this is kind of cool. Eli Roth just infuses so much style into this movie. It's infectious, and it's hard not to just have a good time with this remake. So I say give this a full price ticket. I think it is fun, and you're gonna have a good time at the movie theater. It's worth the trip out. If you're a little bit queasy or not the biggest action fan, then maybe you could watch this at home when you can shield your eyes or fast forward. But otherwise, it's a good theater experience. So, that is my review of Death Wish. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Death Wish? And have you seen the original? If you have, what did you think of that one? And are you excited that they're remaking it? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!